Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now to Brexit talks. The fifth round ended today. It sounded remarkably similar to the fourth round, and indeed, if you were listening, the first three. Michel Barnier, the chief EU negotiator, had a pithier way of putting it: deadlock. This should have been the week things moved on to trade, but the stumbling blocks that still exist made it impossible. Big questions surround EU citizens' rights and that Brexit divorce bill. But if at this stage you admitted that you'd slightly lost the plot with the Brexit negotiations, you wouldn't be alone. Tonight we try and clarify Labour's position. Earlier I spoke to their Brexit secretary, Sir Keir Starmer.
Today marks a serious failure to meet a very important deadline. We are 7 months into the Article 50 process. As a result of today's decision, it's now highly likely that we're going to lose another 2 months on the first stage of the negotiations. That is really serious. It's a failure. If we end up with no deal because of the lack of progress, that is a very bad position for Britain and a very bad position for the EU.
What would you be doing now to close those gaps then? Would you move to offer more money as the Brexit divorce bill to get things moving?
Well, a number of things need to happen. There's still a gap on EU citizens, and that's really caused by the Prime Minister's red line that she will not allow any court other than our own court have any role in enforcing EU citizens' rights. I hope that gap can be closed.
So, for example, on the European Court of Justice, you'd be happy for us to be subject to its rulings and its writs during the transition?
Yes, I think that the only basis for a transitional arrangement is on the basis that the European Court has jurisdiction during that transitional arrangement.
Well, we know that Theresa May is talking about fulfilling UK commitments, and at that point things have got a bit stuck. Would Labour go further? Would you offer a blank cheque and say it's more important we push things on now?
Of course we wouldn't offer a blank cheque, and I've never criticised the government for trying to keep the sum as low as possible. Any responsible government would do that.
Help me to understand something. You've called for an emergency meeting today. You've written to David Davis. He's come back to say, if you're prepared to spell out exactly how much taxpayers' money you think we should offer the European Union to progress talks, or set out what role you see if the European Court of Justice leave the European Union, I'd be happy to engage on your points in detail. So is there any more movement on either of those points that he's just asked for in this letter to you?
It's very important that we listen to what was said today. Michel Barnier said they hadn't even discussed the money. Not that they were arguing about the money. They are so far apart, so deadlocked, they're not even talking about the money.
Okay. I don't understand Labour's position on Brexit. John McDonnell thinks that single market membership is not respecting the referendum. Barry Gardiner also said Brexit means leaving the single market. Diane Abbott in the shadow cabinet, Labour is not taking any options off the table. You've said the single market's important in transitional times. Tom Watson agreed with you on my programme. Is that Labour's position?
Labour's position is exactly as I set out over the summer. It was an agreed position that's signed off by the shadow cabinet. We have called for transitional arrangements after we leave the EU until we get a final deal inside the single market, inside a customs.
So however long that transition is, we should remain within the single market.
Within the single market and in a customs union, subject to the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice. And the reason for that is to avoid a cliff edge, which all businesses want to avoid, to make sure that our economy doesn't crash, but also to make sure that we've got the certainty and stability to see us through to a final deal.
I didn't understand that that was now your clear, unified position on Brexit. We talked to people on Oxford Street earlier, and they don't have a clue when we asked them what Labour's position on Brexit was. Just have a look.
I listened to the news this morning, so I should know.
They're for it.
I wouldn't like to bet on it either way.
No, actually, Labour are not for. No, they're for a deal.
Trying to remain in the single market and the customs union, and trying to have it all.
No, I don't think they do, actually.
I don't think they know themselves, to be honest.
It's divided the same as Conservative.
Now, this is not representative of everyone in the whole of the UK, but you can see the confusion. You know, we haven't handpicked those people. There was no one who understood what Labour believes on Brexit.
Well, I appreciate that, and we've obviously got to do much more work communicating our message. The first question is, have we got a clear and agreed position? And the answer is, after the summer, yes, we have. We obviously have to do more work communicating that, but the final deal is going to be a deal that we're going to live with for a very long time, so we need to get that right. No deal is going to be catastrophic for our country. I don't think everybody has appreciated what no deal really means. It means we haven't reached an agreement on trade. It means no agreement on the Northern Ireland border. That means you've got to have a hard border. No agreement on aviation, which means that planes can't fly. No agreement on security and counter-terrorism. The implications are such that we actually ought to focus on transitional measures and avoiding a no deal.
Keir Starmer, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.